Hi. I think I hit that button a little early there.
Did you?
I did, yeah. I think there was still a second left.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. Should I replay the whole intro?
You've ruined everything. Now they're going to be confused all week. You've ruined it. You've ruined everything.
I can do it again.
No.
Just kidding.
Happy Friday. So today we're going to do something really fun. I thought that we did these every year, but I actually just checked and it looks like last year we didn't do one. But in previous years, for our Halloween episode of the Friday Bean, we have asked you guys to submit your Etsy horror stories in our Facebook group. And we didn't have very many, but that's okay because the ones that we have are very good and they're kind of long. So it's going to take us a bit of time to get through them. But we just figured that this would be something really fun to do. And this year we've spiced it up a little bit where I'm not just reading your stories. I actually entered your stories into ChatGPT and requested that ChatGPT turn it into a horror story. And then I used Canva's new AI tool and I made the horror movie cover for their stories.
Okay.
So he has no idea what we're doing today. I did not consult with him. He's just along for the show. So we're going to have some fun today. This is going to be a more relaxed intro into November. And then hitting November, it's going to be all about the holidays for the Friday Bean. So super duper exciting. Towards the end, I might request that you guys give me some topic ideas for November Friday Bean episodes. All hopefully holiday related. Just please save those until the end because I won't be able to look at the chat. And even if I did, I would forget. So we'll wait until the end. Oh my God, that's so fun.
Mark's like, what are you talking about? No, I'm just exhausted right now.
Yeah.
Band practice yesterday, and I'm cooking all day we're having our family over and
Having a little Halloween party
doing
tonight.
research all week. Somebody said different colors in the background. Well, next week we're starting work on, we've got a 1,000-pound worth of stuff that I'm going to be putting up here, building a whole new wall, and it'll be fun. I don't know if it'll be done by next Friday. Probably not, but it'll be in the mock-up stage at the very least.
Yeah, we always talk about how we take that money that we make in monetization from this channel and we put it back into the channel. So this is...
Yeah, normally we do equipment. We've got, nice little fancy boom arm up here and nice camera and lenses and tech and all that fun stuff. Now it's going into the background. I'm pretty excited for you guys to see what I've come up with.
All right. And then if we, at the end, if we've got time for questions, but you know what? I wanted to have one fun Friday Bean before we all start our Cyber Week prep and panic. I just wanted to do something that's a little less...
Trying to get you on screen. You're all the way off screen.
Sorry.
There we go.
I figured that we would do something fun. It's the end of October because getting into November, we all know that that's hectic time. It's prep time. And yeah, so fun topic today, but...
You are way too high up. There you go.
There we
go. Now it's not so bad.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
He's production assistant. That's
ADHD is the word you're looking for.
ADHD. No,
yeah, there you go.
Like a production assistant, the person who comes in and let me powder puff your face.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, that's you. All right. Are we good to...
I think we are Gucci.
Can you pull up Canva before you screen share so that I can... Actually, no, go ahead and move them over there on that monitor. Yeah. If only they knew how big this monitor was.
It's a TV.
The monitor that's up here is a giant TV. So you guys...
It's a BFGD, a big frickin' gaming display.
It's giant. You're over here. We're over here. Okay, we can pull Canva up now.
What? And why is Splice open?
You got all your nerd stuff open right now.
I do got all my nerd stuff open. What am I doing? Canva.
Yeah. And then...
Sorry, I was doing music design yesterday, so everything's still full bore.
We need this.
It's already playing.
It's not a video.
Oh, okay.
Okay, are we...
I'm good. Are we screen sharing?
Yes, we are screen sharing.
All right.
Yay! Okay, so that's just our intro screen. So our first story was submitted by Tina. Is Tina here? I haven't seen her yet.
I don't think so.
Tina's story is called The Haunted Plates of Scotland, and this is probably one of the longer ones, so I figured we would go ahead and do it first, but it is truly an Etsy horror story. All right.
We're good.
So you can go ahead and go to the next slide. And that's what the AI tool generated.
Okay.
It does not at all match the story, but that's what you guys get. Okay, so here's Tina's story. It began with an order to Scotland in the middle of October, a month veiled in mysteries and superstitions. I had recently released my 8-piece North Pole dinnerware collection and was thrilled when an order was placed. Previously, I'd had success with a Halloween collection, which had received raving reviews. Contrado, a print-on-demand company from London, please correct me if I mispronounced that, was my trusted partner in this venture. However, something was amiss this time. A glitch in the system registered the billing address as the shipping address. I discovered the error only when the plates mysteriously arrived at my doorstep, accompanied by a message from a distraught Scottish customer saying she never received them. Feeling a shiver of unease, I reached out to the Alpha Group for help. Amber Marie offered to ship the plates to Scotland herself. She visited Starla's place, where I sent the plates to, for the onward journey. Which, this is true, Tina actually shipped her plates all the way to me. Amber Marie, who's from the UK, was coming to visit us, and her whole plan was to pack the plates in her luggage and carry all of her already heavy luggage with these plates and take them to the UK so that she could ship them to Scotland. By the end of November, as the winter's chill deepened, the plates were shipped to Scotland. Yet, what the customer received were no ordinary plates. Instead of the promised ceramic, they were made of a hard plastic. Worse still, they were bizarre round slabs, imperfectly printed with blurred designs and errors, as if they held memories of other times, other dinners, other souls. The horror deepened when I realized that all my previous customers may have been sent these haunted plates, cursed by Contrado's false advertising. In anger, I reached out to Contrado, demanding justice. In a twist of fate, my mother's boss in England offered to send the ghastly plates back to me. They arrived just before Christmas, the air around them cold and still. Holding them, I could feel their cursed energy, and I knew that they could never be resold. I donated them, hoping to rid myself of the curse, but the spirits were restless. For weeks, the battle with Contrado raged, with dark omens appearing at every turn. The nights were longer, colder, as I tried to break the spell Contrado had unknowingly unleashed. Finally, in February, after what felt like a lifetime of torment, I received my refund. But some say on dark winter nights, those plates, wherever they ended up, still whisper tales of haunted dinners and betrayed artists. And somewhere in Scotland, a customer might be setting her table, unaware of the spectral dinner guest she's about to host. Thank you, ChatGPT. That was great. That was a real ordeal, though. I mean, these are all real ordeals, but Tina went out of her way. She went above and beyond for this customer, spent so much money between the shipping and then, you know, the packages coming to me and then those packages going with Amber Marie in her luggage and then finally going to Scotland from Amber Marie, and then they weren't correct. And the customer was obviously upset. So were you getting cough drops?
Yes. I had to find them.
Oh, there she is. It was Anna. I'm an all eco-friendly shop.
I mean, did they advertise them as being ceramic?
I'm assuming that they advertised them as being ceramic. Oh, it was Anna. I was like, it was Anna. It's all Anna's fault. That's how I read it. Okay, so that one, very, very stressful. This one made me giggle. Now, Miranda, I know you're in the chat because I just saw you. I do want to give the disclaimer before we get started. Miranda, I don't know if it says it in the story at the beginning, but Miranda, in her story, she's referring to vintage products. So she did sell something Mickey Mouse related, but it was a vintage product. It was yeah, so we'll go ahead and get on with it. So
Next slide.
yeah, you can go ahead. All right, the cursed Mickey Mouse paint set.
I want to know what this dude's painting.
Unfortunately, it wouldn't allow me to use Mickey Mouse. Oh my God, look at his hand. How many fingers?
Oh no, and this one too.
Oh, he's
AI
gnarly.
doesn't quite know how to do hands very well.
He's gnarly. All right, this one's a little shorter. In a cozy corner of Etsy, I once listed a 1950s Mickey Mouse paint set, a relic from a bygone era. The set was quickly purchased by an older gentleman residing in a sprawling apartment building in New York City. Soon after the shipment, I received a frantic message. The package was missing, stolen, as claimed by a neighbor who said that they saw a shadowy figure whisk it away from his doorstep. I advised him to involve the police, as such thefts, especially of items with ancient energies, were not to be taken lightly. But as days turned into nights, his messages grew more and more unhinged. Words in all caps, tales of his deteriorating health, and rambling accounts of his life began to flood in. His pleas for another paint set echoed with a desperation not just for a toy, but as his very soul depended on it. I tried to reason, explaining the rarity of the item, but his tone darkened. He contradicted himself, now claiming the package was never delivered. His messages, once pleading, grew threatening, each word dripping with an unseen menace. It was as if the paint set, or perhaps something lurking within, had taken hold of him. Whispers began. There were tales of cursed items sold on Etsy, artifacts imbued with dark energies that ensnared their owners, driving them to madness. Could the Mickey Mouse paint set be one of them? Etsy, sensing the growing darkness, intervened, put a barrier between the man and me, offering him a refund, trying to pacify the relentless spirits. But every now and then, on quiet nights, I wonder, was it truly just a vintage Mickey Mouse set? Or did I unwittingly unleash something ancient and malevolent upon the unsuspecting gentleman in New York City? Such encounters with the unknown and the unhinged drove me away from the vintage market. But in the shadowy alleys of New York City, there might still be an old man searching endlessly for a 1950s Mickey Mouse paint set, forever eluding his grasp. He was possessed by the spirit of Dark Mickey.
South Park Mickey.
Oh my goodness. Miranda, was that a good story? Was that an accurate story of your experiences? I love the last part. That he's still somewhere in New York City, forever looking for his Mickey Mouse paint set.
Oh man. Let me know if you need regular water and not a bubbly.
I know I shouldn't have grabbed a Waterloo. Yeah, let me have a normal water.
Yeah, drinking carbonated drinks and then talking is always a bad idea.
Hey, I haven't burped once, and if I do, the alphas will understand. In fact, they'll encourage it.
Do it then.
I will.
You can't fake burp, can you?
No, I can't. I can't make myself burp. All right. Are we ready for the next one? Okay. The Bewitched costume.
I don't know what this is, but it looks like a rapper.
Yo, got those hands up. I don't know what this was.
What up? I'm JD Pumpkin Sad.
I couldn't get a good photo for this one. All right. This one is from Jen. In a world where crafts and handmade artistry bridge the realm of the living with their ethereal, I was an Etsy seller stitching dreams into reality. One day, a request arrived for a custom costume, sent by a woman whose initial demeanor was sweet as honey. Little did I know this order would intertwine our fates in a haunting dance of shadows. Wow, that's dramatic. With care and dedication, I fashioned the costume, but a human error marred the final piece. On discovering this, I promptly offered to mend the mistake, a genuine offer to appease the spirits of craft. But the customer, with a chilling tone, refused. She mentioned an what is the word for a person who alters?
I don't know.
Oh, whatever. A seamstress. A place where in hushed voices where items were said to undergo ominous transformations. Then began the deluge. I can't. You guys get to learn Starla doesn't have a great vocabulary. Messages poured in, chilling in their icy critiques, scathing in their contempt. One in particular sent shivers down my spine, glued like like a middle school project. That's a really rude thing for a customer to say, glued like a middle school project. I would have just stopped messaging them. A haunting echo of those words seemed to be whispered by unseen spirits in my workshop every night. The woman's threats grew darker. She spoke of the BBB, an ancient order believed to have powers over artisans and their craft. She demanded a sacrifice, a refund. But how could I appease her when she had altered the very soul of the costume at her mystical altar? Seeking protection, I invoked the guardians of Etsy, explaining the spectral torment I was undergoing. The messages ceased, and for a time, peace returned. But with all ghostly tales, it wasn't over. Years later, like a phantom's touch, I felt her presence again. She had marked the items in my shop, only to retract her favor, a ghostly reminder of our cursed transaction. So basically, this customer went and favorited items and then went and unfavorited them immediately because she realized that it was the person she'd bought from. Some say that on quiet nights, the whispers of a discontented spirit can be heard, forever intertwined with a bewitched costume, reminding artisans of their thin veil that separates them from the shadows of their past. Okay. That one was that wasn't great on ChatGPT's part. I wasn't terrified. I
wasn't scared, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Critiquing our stories. Okay. So let's see. This one has actually happened to us before. With Art by Starla Moore. The next one has.
Oh, okay.
So you'll yeah.
Ready?
Yep. Oh God. Picture. Okay.
Oh Lord, sorry if you have children in the room.
The Phantom Package in 2018.
The middle mouth.
Oh God, he does have another mouth, doesn't he? All right. In the vast world of Etsy, I was a humble seller, crafting and sending my treasures across space and time. One spring day in 2018, an order materialized on my dashboard. With care and precision, I prepared the item, wrapping it in a cocoon of hope, and sent it off via priority mail, ensuring its protection with a magical seal of insurance. As it journeyed through the maze of the postal realm, the USPS Guardians stamped it with the mark of safe passage, delivered. Time flowed, seasons changed, and years turned into memories, until one fateful day in May of 2023, a message echoed from the depths of the past. The voice was that of a customer from 2018, claiming the package never reached its destination. I stared at the message, a chill running down my spine. Could an item marked safe by the USPS Guardians vanish into thin air? I advised her to seek out the postal mystics with a tracking number, hoping they might shed light on an age-old enigma. Silence. The echoes of her claims grew faint, and she vanished from whence she came. The spectral nature of her claim, resurrected after half a decade, haunted my thoughts. It felt as if the shadows of the digital marketplace were trying to deceive, to entrap, to scam. To this day, the tale of the Phantom Package of 2018 lingers in the corridors of Etsy, a cautionary ghost story whispered among sellers, a reminder of the mysteries that lie beyond the screen. So...
yeah, we had that happen.
Yeah, we've had that happen where the customer, I think she reached out like 5 years later to tell me that her package didn't arrive and it was something that I didn't even make anymore. I'm like, what do you, if I order something online, like
checking my tracking every day?
Right, like I'm keeping it top of mind. So what I've heard is that when someone's account gets hacked, oftentimes the scammer will go through and dispute all of the past orders and say that the items didn't arrive.
Okay.
I don't know if they get money or if they do it for free
Let's
stuff.
say you'd have to like hack their cards too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know about that.
All right, so this is my favorite one, and you're going to like this one.
Okay.
The sinister slipper request.
I don't want to hear anything about a sinister slipper.
This one was by Elena. It made me laugh so hard, and her story without ChatGPT was already great. I didn't read the Chat GPT version though. I read the one that she submitted, and it was so good. It really didn't need altered, but we have to keep up the, Okay.
Sounds like a friggin' Urban Dictionary term.
The sinister.
Sinister slipper.
Ew. No. I don't want to look. You can look it up.
Yep.
Well, no, listen to the story.
I'll listen to the story.
Okay. In the heart of Etsy, a quaint digital marketplace bustling with artisans and crafters, I found my niche sewing adorable felt pillows, little comforts to adorn people's homes. One day, amidst the gentle flutter of request, I received a message that sent a shiver down my spine. A man with a peculiar desire wanted slippers. But these were not just any slippers. They were to be modeled after French toast, a gift for his boss. His words, crafted with unsettling intensity, painted an eerie picture. He spoke of cradling her feet, of ensuring the slippers were as sweet and beautiful as her. The details grew stranger. Microwavable slippers so her feet could be ensconced in warmth. Each message from him was like a chapter from a Gothic novel, obsessive, lavish, and oddly poetic. The way he spoke of watching her slip her feet into his gift was both haunting and grotesque.
Ew, I didn't like that sentence.
The sincerity in his words was palpable, making the entire ordeal even more unsettling. He claimed others had turned him away, unable to capture the strange essence of his vision. With caution, I declined, hoping to sever ties with this ominous patron. Yet, just when I thought that I had escaped his shadow, he resurrected. Now he sought slippers for a barista. His twisted obsession seemed to have found a new muse. Without hesitation, I invoked the protective spells of the digital realm, blocking him forever. Rumors spread among the Etsy artisans, whispers of a man with a sinister slipper request, a spectral figure who lurked in the shadows of custom orders. And while he remained a haunting memory, he also served as a chilling reminder that sometimes the darkest tales come wrapped in the guise of a seemingly mundane. So
that's who buys the feet pick listings on Etsy.
Yeah, this guy right here.
Uh-huh.
Do you see him? Do you see the... I can see it, though. I've had customers like that who have...
Some weird requests.
But they send me almost like she had said, they send me almost like these poetic requests where they're like, my darling, sweetest, whatever, the love of my life, my muse, my flame.
She's my muse, my flame.
My muse, my flame.
Gotta use it every day.
She is my everything, and I must please her with only the most beautiful necklace for under $15. Like, I'm
in love, but I'm on a budget. It is.
You bought me a $200 engagement ring from
I did.
Sears.
And it was all the money I had.
Oh, man. Now, to be fair, Mark is replacing my engagement ring now.
Yeah, but I just spent like almost $3,000 ordering a custom ring on Etsy from Spain.
Thank you.
So
I appreciate it. I love you. All right. I think we have two more. The next one is the cursed order. Unless you want to stick around with this guy in his French toast. I forgot about that one too. You like that?
yeah, that's what's on the other side.
What?
You can't say the rest of it.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's see. I just ignore you. Okay, this one's by Kim. In the bustling digital marketplace of Etsy, I feel like all of the stories have started that way.
Mm-hmm.
I was a proud artisan, weaving stories and designs into my sweatshirts, each piece unique and tailored to the desires of my clientele. But every tale of trade has its shadows, and one order would soon plunge me into a spiral of supernatural misfortune. An elderly woman with kind words and gentle requests sought a custom sweatshirt for a special occasion, but when her package arrived, the contents defied logic and reason. Instead of the warm fabric of a sweatshirt, she found a framed poster of the Sex Pistols, an artifact I had never touched nor sold. The eerie nature of the mix-up sent shivers down my spine. Promising a resolution, I arranged for a replacement, praying the shadows that seemed to envelop this order would disperse. Yet the dark forces at play had other plans. Her next package bore a Valentine's Day shirt, an item not only out of season, but also absent from my collection. It was as if some malevolent entity was mocking our efforts, distorting reality with every shipment. Desperate to right the wrong, I once more sought assistance from Printify. But when the elderly woman received her package, the design, which should have been a testament to her cherished memories, was presented entirely upside down, as if the world itself had been twisted and warped. The series of ghastly events left both of us unnerved. Whispers began to spread among the Etsy community. Was it a mere series of mistakes, or had we unwittingly unleashed something far more sinister? To appease the spirits that seemed to have taken interest in this ill-fated order, I refunded the woman and gifted her an Etsy token, hoping that this gesture would lift the curse. Though the order was long settled, the eerie legacy of the cursed package lingered, becoming a whispered legend among sellers, a chilling reminder of the unseen forces that sometimes toy with our best intentions. So yes, this customer received a rolled up Sex Pistols poster, and then she received a Valentine's Day sweatshirt, and then she received her order, but the design was printed upside down.
Okay.
So obviously not at the fault of Printify. It would have been because Printify doesn't print anything. It's all their print providers. But yeah, that's scary. And there's no way that you would know, because even if you do sample orders, you're not gonna get, you know what I mean? That one was crazy.
Said like those guys who address women as "milady" on dating sites.
Milady.
Would you like to arrive, my lady?
Oh God. That was very appropriate for our channel. Thank you.
It has to be. This channel's PG-13.
PG-13. The glass cipher.
Why do the center of the eye always have like a hole? Like they look like it looks like it's like raised on the eye.
I don't know. I think it's supposed to be like a ring, like light ring.
Eye hole.
All right. This is the last one, and this is the one that like makes, in terms of like having empathy for the seller, makes me the most angry at the customer. And we've totally had customers like this as well.
It's Fedora.
In the heart of Etsy, I ran a niche shop crafting elegant glasses engraved with mathematical designs. They were an ode to numbers, equations, and formulas. It was an innocent passion, one that I never suspected would pull me into a mysterious and sinister web. One fateful day, an order came in, a daughter purchasing a math glass for her mother, a retired math teacher. It seemed like any other purchase, filled with sentiment and nostalgia. But as September's chill rolled in, the first of a series of cryptic messages began to unravel. The mother, recipient of the gift, took it upon herself to provide annual feedback. Her critiques were strangely specific, delving into ancient mathematical symbols and formulas. The messages were not just critiques, they seemed to hide a deeper code, a mystery begging to be deciphered. Each year, as the leaves turned amber and fell, I'd receive her cryptic suggestions, each one more intricate than the last. And like a haunting refrain, she would always conclude with a demand for 4 free glasses, a number that seemed to have a significance of its own. But why 4? And why always in September? Years passed, and the messages became a chilling ritual. Then, one September, the silence was deafening. No cryptic critiques, no demands for glasses, just an unsettling quiet. Whispers began to spread among the Etsy community. This seems to be a trend with all of these stories. Some spoke of ancient ciphers hidden in math, of forbidden knowledge that could unlock the very fabric of reality. Others whispered of a secret society of mathematicians, guardians of these truths. Had the mother inadvertently stumbled upon a dangerous secret, prompting her cryptic messages? Was she trying to communicate something vital, cloaked in the guise of innocent feedback? Or was she a keeper of these secrets, testing me, waiting for the moment I'd crack the code? The weight of unanswered questions grew heavy. Each September, I'd find myself gazing at the glasses, the engravings shimmering in the dim light, wondering if I was merely crafting decorative pieces or unknowingly inscribing ancient spells. The eerie legacy of the math glasses became a legend within the online marketplace. While the mother's messages ceased, the chilling mystery she left behind served as a stark reminder of the thin line between art and arcane, between innocence and the shadows lurking just beneath the surface. So basically, the customer or the recipient, it wasn't even the customer, it was the recipient of the glasses, would message the seller periodically to make suggestions on how she could improve these products. And she said, you know, the only thing you have to do in return, you know, this advice is totally free in exchange for 4 glasses. All I want is 4 free glasses. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Milady. So that's it.
That's it. Bye.
Bye. Do you still have our sound effects?
I do, but I don't know which ones they are.
So you could just play something. Just pick one. Are there any?
Some of them are sound clips, so I don't want to do that.
Oh, okay. He's got sound effects set up, but we don't know, and we can't hear them, can we?
No.
So only they would.
I can if I put my. Okay, I do. Here, we'll just talk in a higher pitch the rest of the episode.
Are we talking funny?
We are. We're talking funny.
We welcome you to Munchkin Land. It would be really funny if it wasn't changed.
It was.
Was it? Okay. All right. Made it to alive. Yay. You missed it. Sherry, you'll have to go back and rewatch. You missed the good part. Or was it the good part? Maybe this is the good part. That's it, guys. That's all the horror stories. I do want to say that when it comes to Etsy, you know, we do these episodes
for fun.
For fun. They're funny.
For holidays.
Yeah, they're silly. However, there is, you know, a lot to be said about nightmarish customers on Etsy, and I feel like, you know,
our voices didn't change.
Oh,
I don't know why.
I did. We welcome you to Munchkin Land, and it just was normal.
Yeah, I don't know why it didn't affect it. Maybe I've got it disabled in there, so just in case I accidentally, because they're just touch pads. So when it comes to customers that cause a fuss, obviously we want to strive for good reviews. And for example, we'll say like POD sellers. A lot of the times it is a pain when a customer messages you and they say, well, this shirt doesn't fit, I want to return it, because, you know, it's coming from a print provider. They want to return it to you. You would be forking the refund over to them, receiving a product that you can't really do anything with. And I understand that that's really, really hard. And sometimes, especially if your customers are in the UK, you have to provide the option to refund and return products. But it's an expensive business. It's just something that you have to factor into running a business. That's providing good service. If you order something and it doesn't fit, you know, you should have the expectation that you can return it, as long as it's not something like body jewelry or anything that is unsanitary to return. However, there's a difference between providing good service and allowing customers to bully you. So just making sure that, you know, and if you need that feedback, feel free to post in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community or post in the student campus if you're one of my students, because sometimes you do need other people to give you, I don't know, another perspective. Sometimes we get really, really angry when in reality we shouldn't. Sometimes it's just a customer who has a legitimate problem and we're frustrated by the situation, but we forget to really think of how the customer feels and how we would want to be treated. And that's completely natural. But then there are the cases where a customer is being really, really rude and we're thinking to ourselves, like, am I just being mean to this customer? Like, am I just in a bad mood, or is the customer really making an outlandish request right now? And sometimes you do got to take a step back, maybe come back to it the next day.
Yeah. So, you know, in those cases, don't let customers bully you. One bad review isn't the end of the world. And in fact, this Tuesday, our video, it'll be posted on Halloween. Hopefully you guys will still watch it. I'm actually nervous about posting a video on Halloween. I don't know if the views are going to be really bad. You guys got to promise to watch it. We're going to be doing a video on Tuesday talking about the threshold of reviews and what real customers said that they thought of each review. This took place during our survey of 1,000 real Etsy buyers over at erank.com. We run this survey, I think twice a year, and we decided to do it right before the holidays this time around. And basically we asked customers, how likely are you to buy from a shop with 5 stars? 4 stars, 3 stars, 2 stars, 1 star. And you get to see their responses and how things change depending on the reviews that a shop has. But keep in mind that one bad review it's not a huge deal. And if it's a customer leaving a bad review and it's just absolutely ridiculous, you can always respond to that review. Just make sure that when you respond to your reviews, you're doing so not with the assumption that the customer is going to see it, because they're not going to even be notified that you've responded to it, nor do I think that they're going to check back every day to see if you did. It's really meant for customers who are coming to your shop and deciding if they should make a purchase, and they're looking at your reviews, they see that bad review. Your response is what's going to tell them that you did everything in your power to make sure that that previous customer was happy. So always respond to those reviews with future customers in mind. So
you guys are good to get your questions in.
Yeah, feel free. This was a short.
Back and forth.
Sorry, I'm wiggly today. Feel free to ask us questions. I do want to make sure that everybody is aware that Handmade Alpha Academy will be opening December 1st. That's like a month away.
Yep.
Please make sure that if you're planning on enrolling, you join that email list down below, our waiting list, or just go to joinhaa.com. Doesn't obligate you to buy. Just make sure that we're able to send you that email, because there are only 10 days to register.
35 days until it launches.
Yeah. There are only 10 days, December 1st through the 10th, that you can enroll. The membership is lifetime. You're in there forever. But we are two people. We can't do the work of an army, though we do oftentimes. I feel like we do the work of an army.
Sometimes launches, they're different every time.
Yeah. So we're keeping we keep those registration windows very, very short. But with that, you get my complete 9-module program. Teaches you A to Z how to build, market, and grow on Etsy. It teaches you how to build a mailing list. It teaches you how to brand your shop utilizing psychology so that you can lay psychological triggers throughout your shop and marketing to help kind of appeal to the subconscious level of the average Etsy shopper. We do teach the basics, like listing your product and doing your SEO and things like that. But we go a step deeper, and we really focus in on neuromarketing, which is something that no other Etsy coaches do. So I hope you guys have a really safe Halloween, by the way. That's something that we should.
Don't drink and drive. That's stupid.
Yeah. Be super safe. But if you have questions about Handmade Alpha Academy, if you have questions about Etsy, feel free to get them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll leave. We'll leave you.
We'll leave. Bye.
We'll leave. I baked a cake this morning for I guess it's our niece. I guess I am an aunt, aren't I? Because it's Yeah, I'm an aunt.
You're an aunt.
I'm an aunt, but
not as small as one.
An aunt.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
I am. Very
and
small.
you get all our future boot camps. Did you mention that?
No.
Any of the boot camps that we do, you'll get access to those. We also have another potential large project we might be working on for next year that you might get access to.
12 months of E-Rank Pro.
12 months of E-Rank Pro. Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff.
Christina Nicole's Product Photography Essentials Workshop. You get that for free.
Will you guys be doing shop reviews for launch week?
Probably. Critique week. We'll probably do.
Yeah, we usually do a critique week leading up to it.
Yep.
Okay, let's go through. I need help. I'm from Bangladesh. I need an Etsy store account. So click sign up.
If is your country on the list of approved countries for Etsy?
Etsy payment countries, because it's their payment system.
Yeah.
Bangladesh is not listed on there. Sorry, you can't sell.
Wish we could help you, but if you're in a country that Etsy doesn't allow, or doesn't have a payment system for, there's nothing we can do.
Message Etsy and maybe get a petition going and get them to add your country.
Yep, that's the only thing you can do.
I've been on Etsy for 10 years, and I'm telling you, I had an issue a few months ago with a customer, although we talked on the phone with Etsy support 3 times, assuring me I was in the right. Etsy sided with the customer.
That sucks.
That sucks, dude. Sometimes it happens, unfortunately. In September, I had a request for custom mock-up in my mock-up store. She kept me busy for 10 days as I was afraid of a bad review for €5 and a very short, nice review nightmare. Yeah, sometimes that's worth it. Sometimes that's not.
Fire your customers that are causing you too much stress. You do not have to do business with somebody who is being, rude, bossy, or if you just don't feel like you can complete their request, you can totally say no.
I just had a customer demand a replacement after weighing her order for over 3 months, claiming it's falling apart. Girl, how do I know your dog didn't get a hold of it or your own handling?
Yeah, that
Sometimes it's worth it to replace it. If it's a frequent customer, look at that customer's purchase history and see if they return to the shop. Sometimes it's worth it to send replacements. Not always, but sometimes.
I would have her send a photo of the product. That way you can get a good look at like what's going on with it to see if you can kind of identify what the issue might be.
Maybe you can fix it.
Yeah, you could also, I mean, depending on what the item is.
I want to join this time more so after doing the boot camp. I'm hoping to have the extra money by then.
Think of Handmade Alpha Academy like in comparison with the boot camp. The boot camp was like your little appetizer. It was like the chips and salsa that you get before your like delicious plate of enchiladas comes in, with HAA obviously being the enchiladas.
I want some enchiladas.
Oh, can we get enchiladas?
No, because we're having a party tonight.
Oh, you're right.
I guess we will probably won't be eating until like 7. We can probably.
I'm so hungry.
I'm starving. Do you have any videos or information on how to write shop policies and who taxes work with Etsy only?
So, shop policies, those are dependent on you. You've got to decide what policies you want to set in place for your store, depending on what you accept and what you don't accept. Do you want to accept returns? Do you want to accept, do you have a specific window that you accept returns? These are things that are very personal to you. So I don't really have any videos on that. I mean, in Handmade Alpha Academy, we have kind of like a swipe file library of different scenarios, but like I said, it's really personal to you. Taxes with Etsy, you're a business. Even if you're only making a little bit of money, you're a business. So my biggest advice, because I'm not able to give you any tax advice, I'm not an accountant. Our virtual assistant, Michelle, is an accountant, and maybe we could have her come on here and answer some questions for you guys.
Get an accountant. I think that's... Yeah. We can't have her come on here and say stuff because that's still our channel, so we're still... Well,
she can...
you know what I mean.
She could come on and answer questions, but also under the, disclaimer. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely either get an accountant or we use Block Advisors. They're insured and they're great, and they've saved us tons and tons of money on our taxes every year. They know all the little tidbits. And when you're looking at the agent that you want to pick, you can see how long they've been doing it. So if you like, our current accountant's been doing it for like 40 years or something like that. Older British lady. She's
so
super
cute.
Nice. Super cute.
She walks with a little cane. She has a picture. She has a decal of the Queen in her back window. Like she is just, she takes being British very seriously.
Or not seriously at all.
I think that she embraces it because in our area of Ohio, you do not have Brits here.
She forces the posh up to the top.
I think she does it.
I love it.
I think she does it because she knows that people think
it's cute. Yeah, she's an old British lady, and she knows the people in the area think it's cute.
She's adorable.
I just wanted to say thank you both of you for all your hard work during this holiday prep season. It's been helpful to me. I've learned so much. I love the boot camp and HAA.
Amy, I haven't had a chance to talk to you. I know that it's been like a really long time, but I did want to let you know that I got your stamps in our P.O. box, and my daughter is also obsessed with wolves, and she has been like using the stamps nonstop. So I haven't had I'm so bad with responding to things.
This is frustrating where I can't
Yeah, I know.
Don't say it out loud.
Got it.
I'm
Okay.
Go back up here. Sorry, I had to deal with a sitch. Okay, here we are.
Okay. No, you maybe I missed it, but did you release the Handmade Alpha shop list so we can shop from other alphas? So Michelle is the one who's working on that right now. We had over 200 people submit their shops within like the first day. Michelle is going to be working through that. She's attempting to get it done by, before the holidays. I think that she wants to have it done early November. So I'm hoping to have that published soon. But again, she's super duper busy. So just whenever it was her idea to put it together, I was just like, yeah, Michelle, go for it. So She's putting in all the work. So make sure that you give her huge thanks, Michelle Badger, in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Michelle created an amazing directory form where we're creating a full directory of Handmade Alpha shops, and we're going to categorize them by your different, industries. Go to the Handmade Alpha Facebook community, link down below. There is a form pinned to the very top of the group, and you can fill that out to submit your shop.
This is the same one as earlier. I was disappointed and appalled. It was asking what the purpose of Etsy support if I follow everything correctly. And appealed it. Customer's clearly wrong and you don't protect me. Guy emailed me and said discussion is over.
Wow.
I would take that whole conversation, email Etsy support again, and try to elevate that. That sounds like someone who doesn't care.
Did the customer email you and say discussion is over?
No,
or
the customer support in the email.
Yeah, I would contact Etsy separately or post a screenshot of that somewhere and encourage people to share it, because that is not acceptable for a customer. That is not
acceptable. Discussion is over. Like, okay, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not how you talk to people. How would you respond to a customer who wore her? Okay, we already talked about that. What's the best way to go about getting pricing right? I feel like mine are out of whack and too low, but not sure what to charge.
I would recommend looking at that top 10% of your industry. So in the eRank keyword tool, you can actually type in keywords associated with your product. And we've actually merged the keyword tool and Keyword Explorer recently. So now the keyword tool has little tabs that you can click through. I can't remember exactly what tab it's on, but if you click through those little tabs right above the related keywords box, there's one that's going to show you common price points. I want you to look at those common price points and find the highest ones, okay? And I would recommend trying to price around the top 10% of whatever those high price points are. That way you aren't competing at the bottom of the barrel. You want to compete at the top. Just make sure that your products are just as good as, some of the other shops that are listing at those higher price points.
Yeah, people commenting. Nope, Etsy seller support emailed me. Good idea with the screenshot. Hadn't thought of that. Blur out names. Mm-hmm. If the Etsy seller support has their name, blur out the last name. And no customer names, addresses, phone numbers, that kind of stuff. No PII. Honestly, I still struggle with keeping my business, especially with my main department going towards the vision I have for it. I find myself still listening and implementing instructions from other sellers. You got to take it one step at a time and don't listen to too many people at once. That's one of my biggest pieces of advice. Pick one lane and stay that way. And if it doesn't work, switch lanes.
Yeah. Like, I have people email us all the time. It used to be an email we got constantly where people would say, I'm listening to all these different YouTube channels and everybody is teaching me different things and I'm so overwhelmed.
Yeah, stop. Pick one or two and lock that in.
Unfortunately, you kind of have to. You just got to pick the people that you really like to listen to. I'm hoping that we're some of them since you're always here. Hello. But it does get overwhelming and everybody's going to give you different advice and different advice is going to work for different people. Maybe how I teach doesn't click with everybody and that's totally fine. But we all learn differently. We all have different things and different types of people that we enjoy to learn from. So just make sure that you're not overwhelming yourself, and make sure that you take the advice, even if it doesn't sound like something that would work in your shop. Try different things, even if it's something that you don't think would work. If you're not seeing success where you are, try something totally crazy. Try something totally different. You never know what will push you to the next level if you're starting with nothing.
I have a hybrid store where I make the vast majority of my sales in digital as of now, but I've gotten a couple ornament orders recently, trying to decide if I should do more ornaments.
Well, Mia, the only problem is that ornaments are only going to be selling for like the next month and a half. After that, people are going to be done and you're not going to sell them again until next year. So I would go ahead and make your sales now. Enjoy that cash flow that you're getting. And then right after the holidays, I would consider opening a shop just for the ornaments that you focus on just for holiday money. That might be a cool alternative to having, your shops kind of mixed together with ornaments and digital. Might be a cool way for you to still sell those ornaments, but you could even, just have a shop that specializes in ornaments.
HA is like going to business psychology school. Think of it like taking a college level course. It's well worth every penny. Disclaimer, it is not a college level course and it does not give you college credits. I get that question like 5 or 6 times every launch.
However, we've had like 5 or 6 people say that they've learned more in HAA than they did in their college business
We actually
classes.
get that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Also, no, we cannot accept your scholarships. We get that every once in a while too. They're like, I got approved for a scholarship. Can I? No. If that's what you use, if they gave you cash, you use it for whatever you want. But
right.
I can't endorse it. So I deactivated all my physical listings for me to work on behind the scenes while I re-go through HA and redo designs to match my. I just hope it was in the right direction.
A right decision.
Right decision.
There's no way to know. There's no way to know until you try. But if you weren't happy with the results that you're seeing, then it's time to pivot. So definitely go back through HAA, work through it, take amazing notes, and try something new. I mean, really, you can't make demand for an item if, you've been trying to sell something and it's just not clicking with people. Sometimes you have to get creative in either how you're displaying that product, or you have to get creative in how to market that item. You know what I mean? So, or you have to, create something new and not get too married to a singular idea. I think that's kind of the sucky part of running a business is sometimes we're really married to an idea because we enjoy making something, but then it turns out that customers just don't want to buy that particular thing, but we're so attached to that thing that it hurts us to let go. But in reality, you have to separate like that attachment and have that business mindedness. And you can still make the things that you love to make, but you also, for the sake of business, have to make what customers are willing to buy.
Does Mark have a special gel for his stash? I use Got to Be Glued, extra strength, non-sticky for the base shape. And then I have an actual wax.
Old-fashioned fisticuffs?
Old-fashioned fisticuffs. It's got a picture of a guy with his shirt off doing the boxing stance on the front of it.
I think that's what you should be for Halloween. Just wear the overalls.
It's too cold.
No shirt, just the overalls. And I want you to have one of the big dumbbells that just has the big balls on the end. Yeah.
Of it.
Oh, that'd be hot.
Shut up.
What do you guys think? Put a flame emoji in the chat if you think
sure
Mark should be
but only if my legs are in it, right?
Yes.
Get the shorts overalls.
Yes.
Any advice for learning how to do custom forms for international shipping? I want to start selling in places like Canada, but customs forms are kind of intimidating. So
if you're doing it on Etsy, if you're actually, printing out your labels through Etsy, you can take care of all that information, just making sure that you've got your tariff codes figured out as well. But Etsy makes it super duper easy. If you're filling them out by hand, it's a little bit more complicated because you have to fill out a little bit more. And it really just depends on where you're shipping to. The main things that you want to focus on making sure that you have are the tariff codes associated with your products, which you can just Google your item. Google based on like what it is in terms of material. If you're selling, cute painted greeting cards, then you should just search like cardstock greeting card. And usually you don't even have to click on a website. That tariff code will usually pop up right on that Google page. So making sure that you have your tariff codes, making sure that the weight and everything for your product is accurate, as well as your package. Whatever you're mailing it in, you're going to need to know the exact dimensions of that package, or if you have an assortment of different types of packaging, you need to make sure that you have your dimensions figured out. And I mean, that's really it. My biggest suggestion, if you're filling out your packages by hand, because like I said, if you're doing it online, it's super easy. But if you're doing it by hand, just go into your post office and, fill out one of the little forms. You can get a stack of them right at the post office, your customs forms, but then have the postal worker glance over it. Because either way, they're going to have to enter it in by hand on their computer. If you let them look at it, they'll let you know if you've done something wrong. So
lots of fires in the chat. You guys are hot too. Remember that. Tina said need a longhorn too. No worries there.
You're inappropriate.
I know.
You're all inappropriate. It's Halloween. You're allowed to be.
It is Halloween.
You're allowed to be a little spooky on Halloween.
Talk about Halloweenies.
Halloweenies.
Oh, it jumped.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Oh, thank you, Amy. She's having fun with them. She really enjoys them.
I watch one guy sometimes just to see what I don't want to do. I need to stop, but it's kind of funny now. Careful with that, because the thing is, sometimes you can take advice from different places and think you heard it in one place, but you really heard it in another place, and then you end up thinking bad advice is good advice.
Yeah, there are some Etsy people that I literally cannot listen to them because the advice makes me so mad, and I cannot stop myself from
just eye rolling the whole time.
I can't stop myself from commenting when they're teaching people something that could literally like get their shop shut down. I have to like not even look.
You guys have helped me a lot. I'm still in the process of fixing my tags throughout my shop because I destroyed it by listening to some really bad advice.
Yeah.
It happens. We've all been there. I've been here with y'all since the beginning. I don't plan to leave anytime soon. You helped me when I was going to give up your rock star. Ornaments can be used all year round for different holidays.
That is true. You can also do little, for example, like pet memorial. You could get little ornament hooks. There's little ornament hooks that, stand, and you could do little pet memorials or people memorials. People might want to hang a little ornament with a cute little quote about grandma or a cute little quote about the Rainbow Bridge. And, put it next to their pet's portrait. We have one of Itty upstairs, and we have one of Granny. I have a picture, an ornament of Granny upstairs that I keep out year round.
I love stickers, but can't get Etsy labels in Ireland. I can't do tracked shipping, hugely expensive here. And if I make over 10K, I have to collect and remit my own VAT. Would all that stop you? Nope, trust me, it can get just as complicated over here. Considering that we work on, 2 separate Etsy shops right now. We have the Handmade Alphas. We're both contractors at E-Rank. We're doing taxes for like 6 separate entities all at the same time. We get it.
Yeah. An accountant is going to be able to help you, though.
Yeah. Get yourself an accountant or a tax specialist that can help you. I don't know what the equivalent it is in your country. Oh my God.
Tina, I love how Tina's like, I know that. I read that like in a completely different
I know that.
But the quality is college level.
Throws a rabbit.
She would never
at us.
Oh, I can't touch a rabbit.
She has secret attack rabbits.
Secret attack rabbits. She doesn't need to throw it. All she has to do is say charge, and the rabbits all come running.
How do you balance work/family life? Barely. During the busy holiday months, as a single mom working from home with a 3-year-old and a very, very busy shop, I find it so challenging.
So, Emily, when I...
one glass of wine at a time.
When I ran Art by Starla Moore, which was my jewelry shop, and we were still in California at the time, during the holidays, especially right after Black Friday, I was packing orders for like 16 hours a day. And I had a child that was 3 years old as well. What I did during the holiday time... because he worked all day, and when he got home from work, he had to help me pack orders too. I had baskets of I had one for each day of the week. I just went to the Dollar Tree and got some cheapo baskets, and every day I had a different basket. And for holidays, it was really fun because I could theme them in Christmas, and I had some for Thanksgiving as well for Black Friday. But I would do books, special toys, little puzzles and things, that were specific to their basket. So I think I had a snowman basket, a Santa Claus basket. I had a turkey basket for Thanksgiving. And every day of the week, Taylor would get a different basket to play with while mommy was, doing her work time. Mommy works. And then I told Taylor that her job for the day was to work with her basket. And we did like sensory tubs and things like that. Mm-hmm. But I would have her sit in the next room. I would turn on a Christmas movie. I could still hear her. But she got her basket for the day. And because she only got that basket one day out of the whole week, it was like brand new toys to her. And she was always excited for her next basket. And it kept her engaged. Now, I'm not saying that is going to work for you, but it worked really well for me. Additionally, you could always have, if you've got any friends who are able to come kind of help you out, maybe you supply them with some free Christmas gifts, from your shop. And it can kind of help to balance things. But yeah, it's a struggle. There were many a nights where I was, only sleeping like 4 hours because I had to wait until she went to bed so I could go in and pack orders.
You said sometime a while back not to be married to your business. A copyright lawyer told me the same thing, and it made my mindset so much better.
Yeah. You can't be too married to your ideas, because if you are, for one, if a customer like insults your products, it hurts so much worse.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's like, and you know, I'm guilty of that, because like with my book,
Oh yeah.
if somebody insulted my book that I wrote, because I'm so attached to it, I would probably cry.
Trust me, I'm your punching bag. I know how you get.
Yeah, I know.
She's so abusive, guys.
I am. I'm sorry. You make me do
this.
this.
All those haters have it backwards. It's really you.
I mean, really, it is. It is.
It is.
I smack you all the time.
Mm-hmm. Oh. It's Halloween.
Halloween, getting spooky.
We can be spooky. Okay, what's your take on shop discount codes versus running sales? I've noticed my competitors use discount codes such as 25% off 3 items, so I made some, but on one use them thinking of just doing sales.
So sales are going to appeal to people who are browsing Etsy, popping into your shop.
2 different tactics, really.
Right. Sales are going to be useful for everybody. With a discount code, technically psychology states that people prefer to enter a discount code because they had control over the discount, and there is a thought in their head that they're getting a price that some people aren't getting. However, discount codes are more useful if you've got an audience on like social media or you have an email list, because otherwise, what's the point of having a discount code if you're just going to advertise it like on your shop banner or something?
Right.
You know, it's not exclusive and it's not a secret. At that point, you might as well just have your whole shop on sale. So,
and you can't leave it on sale all the time because that's actually a crime.
Yeah.
So
it's a FTC violation.
Yeah, they probably won't do anything about it, but I mean,
But with a coupon code, I recommend that for once you have an audience. If you're just trying to, you know, make your holiday, you know, cash flow, I would just put your shop on sale.
Can't wait to address that one. Other Canadian artists, I have a hard time deciding on certain words like flavor and color with an O or a U. I understand tags or whatever is more popular. Does that mean I should avoid conflicting words?
No, Etsy knows. No matter which version you use, if you add the U, Etsy knows that they're the same thing. So I recommend using like you had stated, whichever is most searched. When you go into the eRank compare keywords tool, you can just compare the 2 words and see which one customers search more. But even if, you know, a customer is spelling it with the U, those listings are still going to pop up. Etsy knows. It
doesn't make a difference. Use whichever term is better optimized.
Same with plurals as well, like shirts versus shirt.
eRank doesn't do a great job with plurals. Etsy does.
Yeah, because eRank is telling you...
eRank is a literal system.
Well, eRank is telling you what customers are searching for, regardless of whether or not Etsy combines them. So eRank's just telling you what customers are typing in.
Not Etsy related. Are you guys dressing up for Halloween? If so, what? I'm not dressing up for Halloween. I'm just going to walk around naked.
I bought...
Scary enough.
Ooh, scary. I got a big pumpkin shirt, and I'm just going to wear a big pumpkin shirt and some fishnets.
Pumpkin.
Big pumpkin. I'm going to be a big pumpkin. Not this pumpkin shirt, a different...
And I have so many jokes for that, and I can't say a single one of them on this stream.
Save them for me. Save them for me, Dollface.
Okay.
I've never called him
okay, m'lady. Black Friday offers. Can I have a special coupon offer for VIPs only and a 15% discount for others?
That's what I recommend, especially since you can't do double dips anymore, which sucks. But yeah, do your whole shop. If you've got your VIPs, you've got a social media following, or you've got an email list, put your shop on sale, have it at one discount. Maybe you do like 10%. You want to do 15% at a minimum. Most people, unless your items are over $100, 15% is where people start paying attention to discounts. Anything less than that, it's probably not going to even achieve, you know, a whole lot, as per marketing experts. But I would say, you know, put your whole shop on, we'll say like 15%, and then give your VIPs like 20%, like a 20% coupon code. And those aren't going to stack. So you don't got to worry about those stacking. But it's a way to spoil the people who, you know, matter the most to your business, which are the people who actually follow you on social media and have an interest in your brand.
Is there a way I can create a coupon code in Etsy to give customers when they sign up for email for one-time use? It allows only no date or no end date. maybe a different code every 30 days, question mark?
So
No, because people might sign up in the middle of that cycle and then they've only got it for 15 days. And then you can't tell them it's a 30-day coupon because it'll expire in 5, 15, whatever.
We get this question in handmadealphaacademy.com or handmadealphaacademy.com. You hear me?
Oh my God.
It's like muscle memory, but my brain. We tell people in Handmade Alpha Academy because we teach, making sure that you're spoiling your email list, making sure that you are giving them the best deals. And we do teach how to set up an automatic discount code that emails to them. However, one of the questions that we often receive is how do you make that a one-time use? Well, you can't. And that's okay. You don't need to worry about that as long as you're pricing high enough. If it hurts to offer a discount, then you shouldn't be offering a discount, or you need to up your prices, which is what I recommend. You need to increase your prices to accommodate any discounts that you plan to order or offer. And then every time you offer a discount, I recommend, or every time you price product, I recommend assuming that every single person who buys is using whatever your highest discount is. That way you can make sure that you are always pricing for profit. Now, in terms of those one-time use coupon codes, there's no way to set that up, and that's okay. If a customer comes and uses that discount code again and again and again, as long as you've priced high enough, my advice is to let them. If they think that they're like getting away with something, or they think that you're just so generous that you're letting them use it over and over, they're buying. You're making money. One of my customers, her LTV, her long-term value was over, I think it was, I just did a presentation on it in the boot camp. I think it was over $10,000 that Trina had spent.
We had several that were over 10,000.
And they used their VIP coupon, their their first order coupon every single time. I was $10,000 richer. So let them, because like I said, you know how it feels if you find like a secret coupon code and you're like, ooh, I'm going to use this.
6,500 richer. You got taxes.
Yeah.
Our self-employment tax is a hell of a thing, isn't it? Are Etsy ads worth it? Only if they work for you.
There's too many factors to be able to tell you. Etsy ads are dependent on your SEO, your photos, if there's demand for your products. Etsy ads are not a magical solution that is going to take a product that nobody wants and make people want it. They are worth it if you have a proof of concept. So I recommend making sure that you are putting ads behind products that are already selling, your best sellers. Because if those products are already doing well without those ads, basically Etsy is just going to show those products to more people when you run those ads. And that is going to help them do even better. So you've already got your proof of concept when you're promoting bestsellers.
With Etsy on sale no longer an option, what do you suggest for getting an extra push in sales?
Unfortunately, there's no alternative to the Etsy on sale app. I know some of you don't know what I'm talking about. It doesn't exist anymore, so don't worry about it. It's gone. There's no way to double dip. So what I recommend is if you've got your VIP list set up or you've got your social media, do exactly what I said a few minutes ago. Offer them a coupon and let them know that it is just for your followers. Like say, this coupon is only for my followers. The general public is getting like, 20% or 15% off in my shop for the holidays. But with this coupon code, you can actually get a better discount. I would use wording like that. Get a better discount. Like get 20% instead of 15%.
Lots of love in the stream. I just got your book 2 weeks ago and started reading it. I love it.
Oh, I appreciate it.
I like it too.
I'm finally going to work on my on book 2, which I know it's been like 2 years.
She's going to try to finish it this year.
Yeah, during the holidays. That's my holiday plan, is to work on Diatomic.
Why does Etsy say, or why does everybody say that Etsy can't remove copyright infringement listings unless the IP owner makes a claim? It's their policy. YouTube immediately can, so I don't see why Etsy can't. Products and audio are two completely different things. There are rules that allow websites to not technically be responsible for anything posted on their platform as long as they have systems in place in order for those things to be removed.
What's that law that just...
I can't remember the exact... There's so many that I follow right now. But when it comes to audio, YouTube is a streaming service. The laws are completely different for a commerce platform versus a streaming service. If someone streams copyright music from YouTube, who owns their own music label, they are considered a music label and a music platform and everything else, they can be sued immediately for not enforcing that law. It's completely different. It's like a radio station not getting the licenses and stuff for doing that, or even restaurants. Well, you've probably gone to restaurants who used to play their like YouTube mixes, and then all of a sudden now it's just a bunch of crappy royalty free music or the same 4 songs on repeat. It's probably because they won't pay for the license to be able to play restaurant or music in their restaurants. The exact same thing.
Yeah, my grandma.
Licenses. I'm working on learning how to be a DJ, so I have to learn all this crap now. But
my grandma, she owns a bar, and she wouldn't. Her jukebox was licensed, but for a while she wouldn't let cover bands play in her bar because it would get her in trouble.
Yeah, it's a liability issue. So like YouTube has to do it because they are liable if somebody streams something. Etsy doesn't, because if they make a call and it's wrong, they're liable and could get sued by the person that was selling the product that maybe was public domain, you know? So Section 230. Thank you, Frosty Lab.
Yes. So what,
Johnny.
In terms of Etsy, like, yes, I do understand there are some people who say that, like, I think it's Amazon that will flag certain keywords. Etsy could technically do that. There's just a lot of subjectivity because, for example, I'm officially licensed by one of the biggest fantasy authors in the world, Sarah Maas. I can create her products legally because we pay out 20% to her from every purchase. So there's just so much subjectivity there. I understand the frustration. I do wish that Etsy would give like a little warning, like a heads up.
Because there's nothing wrong with that. You could have a big thing that pops up on there that says,
like, potentially,
this could potentially be a copyright violation or whatever they think it is. They're not removing anything. They're not restricting anything. There's literally nothing that they're doing wrong in doing so. I don't know.
And per Etsy's policies, it is the owner of that copyright material who has to put in the claim. They own it. They have to be the ones to say, this belongs to me. It's not Etsy's property. So Etsy cannot defend the property on behalf of someone else.
They're all right. They said that they didn't know about the audio thing. Dude, it's totally fine. Laws are complicated, and even what I just said, there's probably somebody that has a complete huge argument for how I'm wrong. When it comes to copyright, there are so many ways to approach it. Don't worry about other platforms. Worry about Etsy specifically. They can't enforce it. As of right now, they can't enforce it due to liability. That's the answer, TLDR. I reopened my snakelet shop after a year this week and just made a sale. 8 hours after shipping it, I get a payment reserve notification, but they're holding none of my money.
That's interesting.
That's weird.
Well, then you're not really on reserve if they're not holding your money. So, right? Is there any restrictions at all? You make the cute little snake bracelets, don't you? I have your shop favorited. Your
anniversary weekend away seems to have worked well for you too. Weekend in the woods, 4 Diamond Star restaurant experience in the middle of it. Dude, that food was so good.
Our food was so tiny. It's itty bitty little bite-sized little tiny food. Little bits. Wait, you gotta whisper it in the mic.
Just put them in your mouth.
So we got, it was like you ordered teeny tiny little courses so that you could eat a lot, and I don't even want to tell them what the bill was because it was extravagant.
Oh, it was a lot. It was an anniversary dinner, though.
Yeah, it was a lot.
I saw one Etsy YouTuber recently advise against targeting niches on Etsy. Yeah, you shouldn't keep that many jars in your house. Just instead go for people with a lot of disposable income and make everything you sell have a luxury aesthetic. See how I knew exactly who you were talking about? Because somebody said that in last week's stream. Just quit. Just don't listen to her.
You know what? Luxury aesthetic? Cool. Try that. Try that, or look at her followers who are all doing that, and let me know how many of those are successful compared to some of our niche shops that we have in the Handmade Alpha community, and then you can decide for yourself. This whole you don't have to have a niche. You can just make whatever the heck you want. Sure, anybody can do that, but when you look at the most successful shops on Etsy, which you can do from the top sellers report in erank.com, most of those shops have a niche, and the ones that don't sell like supplies and stuff. So,
you think Etsy will add a coupon this Black Friday /week, since it seems like they've been doing Etsy codes lately?
I think I just got an email about one. Or the Etsy app. I think I just got an email about something. Maybe somebody might want to check their Etsy app and see if they got something, but I believe that I just got something. I don't know. Etsy's been sending out a lot of little coupons and things lately, which cool. I'm all for it.
I'm all about it. Saw some comments on Reddit the other week bashing you guys for your credibility due to you shutting down your store and working for E-Rank. We shut down our store so we could focus on this business, but whatever. I backed you guys up through though and explained how transparent you are.
Here's the thing. So
Reddit is a cesspool, first of all.
It is a cesspool. So everybody clings to that whole, Starla shut down her successful shop. Starla shut down. That's the thing that when anybody wants to find a reason to hate me.
She doesn't even have an Etsy shop. We have like 3 or 4 actually.
When people want to have a reason to be mad at me, that's the thing that they gravitate towards. But in terms of that transparency, I had a very successful Etsy shop. I was a top 1% seller. I could barely keep up with it. I hired my dad. My dad didn't do the greatest job. He just wasn't able to do things at my level. He messed up a lot of things. We sent out some subpar products because his hands, he's got arthritis. He just wasn't able to do what I do. And during COVID, Swarovski crystals stopped supplying to small crafters. Now there are replacements for it, but I was already spending like hours and hours and hours in my office every single day. You've got to consider that when I put my shop on halt for COVID because he and I got sick and Swarovski quit providing, I put my shop on pause after the holidays. My grandma passed away right afterwards.
The stars just aligned for us to back off.
I had to take care of because my grandma died with nothing to her name. We had to pay for everything, handle all of that. I wasn't even able to grieve until she was already in the ground. And during that time, I had customers messaging me while I was packing holiday orders who were upset. Not that I, oversold things or that, that I didn't have their items. They were upset that I didn't list enough so that they could buy. Yeah. And I had customers that were getting snobby with me while I was going through the hardest thing that I had ever gone through.
And you got to consider we did product launches. We didn't keep a steady stock. And those products would sell immediately. So it's like anytime
second that they listed.
Literally anytime that we stocked products, at least the bigger, like really nice stuff that she listed, we would be packing orders for like 16 hours a day for like 3, no joke, like 3 weeks straight. We had 0 free time. We couldn't, like, our dishes would pile up, our laundry would pile up. Like, we literally have no free time. It was not sustainable. But we're at the point now where not only does she have her bookish shop and another shop she's working on, we have the Handmade Alpha shop, which as of right now is still on vacation, right?
Because Amber's pregnant.
She's busy. We also have direct access to at least one, sometimes more than one, very, very successful Etsy shops with people that we work with. So it's not like we're missing out on anything, not to mention the over 1,000 students that we have that we can directly observe at any time that we like. What are we missing by not directly having a physical product shop anymore? That's the question I would have for these people. Like, what do you think we're missing out on?
Right. Like that. And it's so hard because people, they just want a reason to be upset because I had a successful shop, but it's not like all of the knowledge that I gained in the 10 years that I ran that shop, that I started when I was 19 and literally had an infant, none of that knowledge disappeared. And especially when it comes to strategy and psychology and things like that and marketing, things that absolutely apply. What I want to know is why just because I'm running a different business model, why people think that I suddenly, don't know my material. And it's so confusing. And like we said, I think it's just people who want something to be mad at. But
if you've ever been on social media, you can go to any post on any product and see that it's in everything. The thing is, for every one negative comment, there's 1,000 positive. So just ignore that crap.
Yeah.
And if you have a real question about what we do, we're live.
Right.
Ask it.
Yeah.
For real. Anyway, that's enough talking up our own butts.
No, it's something I wanted to acknowledge for a while. It was a hard few years. I completely like stopped producing YouTube content other than Friday Beans. We had a really
Yeah,
bad
we did. We had a really bad HA launch because of it, because we literally had to stop posting videos because she couldn't deal with it anymore.
Yeah, I went through a really, really bad year, and I wrote a book during that year.
It's one of those examples of this really, like, not everyone is cut out to do this. It takes some like weird resiliency that humans don't inherently have to be able to deal with that much hate from people that you don't know.
Yeah, that's why I have Michelle she goes over my comments.
Yeah, because you see what you see, but you don't see what we see.
Yeah, it gets bad. People who rip you apart,
and I don't care.
No, you don't care, but people who rip you apart for, I mean, just the silliest things: how you look, how you sound, what you're wearing. Oh, my lip ring was the big one. I finally just took it out because I was sick of people talking about it. My tattoos. It's like everything I do is wrong. So, it's sometimes you hit a point where you're just like, you know what? Screw these people. I know who my people are. You guys are my people.
And kisses never felt the same ever again.
What, with the lip ring out?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Should I publicly reply to a 2-star review that has no text? I have over 100 positive reviews. I messaged the customer and got no reply. I kept them updated with swipe files. Order arrived by Etsy.
Yeah, I would respond to it publicly and say, I'm so sorry that
my order didn't meet your expectations.
Yeah, you didn't clarify in your review what the issue is. I'm always striving to provide the very best service possible. So please feel free to reach out to me so I can try to provide you with a 5-star experience.
Do you ever recommend make 2 copies of your best listings to try out different thumbnails and tags?
Absolutely. A/B split testing? Totally. I wouldn't...
Don't leave them up permanently.
Yeah, we had somebody in the eRank group yesterday ask if they should replicate all their listings and have 2 of each. And I'm like, don't do that just to like saturate.
Yeah.
But for A/B split testing, yeah, totally. That's science. That's science, baby. I want to read their comments.
Just celebrated. Yeah, I really do. I mean, I usually do sit here and I have to read every comment to find questions. She can't read them all, but I do read every comment.
Sometimes I go back though. After the Friday Bean, I'll go back and check the live chat.
I just celebrated 4 years of marriage yesterday with my husband. One more and then you can cut it off.
That's what we always say. We're like 15.
Every five you get a chance, and it's a freebie. Just go out for milk and never come back.
Wine tasting. We just got into wine. I didn't like wine.
She just got into wine.
Yeah.
Chasing vague trends like luxury aesthetics for shops that are catch-alls is so difficult to have succeed.
What comes to mind when you think of luxury aesthetics?
I think of people who wear clothes that they can't afford and people who are unnaturally attractive who have TikToks.
Yeah, like...
If that's not you, then that's probably not the genre for you.
Maybe like Pottery Barn, like luxury aesthetics.
People who win the genetic lottery.
The genetic lottery.
That's what it is. People who win the genetic lottery. Some people are just hot.
Like your friend Chad. He
is just an attractive human being who looks like a Chad.
His name is Chad.
You're hot, homie. It is what it is.
His name is Chad, and he looks like he should be like a Ralph Lauren model. I don't understand what...
And he acts exactly the way that you would think.
He acts like his name is Chad. And
yep. 10 to 25 visits a day normal for 1 month digital shop. I have 30-ish products 1 day since I opened.
There's no way. So
yeah. When should I expect consistent daily sales? There is no way to answer that,
so
unfortunately.
Two parts to your question. First of all, are these views and visits normal? There is no way to tell you that because I know nothing about your target industry. I know nothing about your customer base. I know nothing about what you sell. I don't know what keywords you're using. I don't know what your thumbnails look like. There is so much information missing from your question. When should I expect consistent daily sales? There's no magic algorithm that's giving you a sale because you've hit so many days. A living, breathing human being has to scroll Etsy, type in keywords that you are also using in your listing, find your listing on a search page of all the other listings, choose you over everybody else on that search page, look at your description, look at your pricing, look at all of your photos, and then decide to make a purchase. there is no benchmark for when to expect consistent sales, because that discounts the human element from the equation. Instead, if you're not making sales, I mean, how long have you been selling? Did it say? It doesn't say. A 1 month digital shop. You're brand new. You are a baby shop right now. So what I would focus on is looking at some of your competitors and making sure that your products, stand up to theirs, but also be aware that it takes time. It takes time. But don't assume that there is any magical threshold for number of listings, that there is a number of days, or that there is a number of visits that should be converting. It's all completely industry dependent and human dependent, and dependent on your ability to create products that these people want, unfortunately.
The same YouTuber said to expand product range to include one for repeat purchases and one as a bestseller. Of course, everyone would do this if it was that simple. A lot of bad advice.
We know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Too many jars, not enough houses. Nothing in the payment reserve email applies to me. I've been bracing for an arbitrary this punishment while on hold. Thanks for favoring. Yeah.
Aw.
Lots of love. Fudge the jealous haters.
Oh, Linda, you're getting monthly sales now. I haven't seen that yet, so that's awesome. I'm so happy for you. I'm happy that that's finally paying off. Let's see.
People tear you down to make them appear bigger. Doesn't take a whole lot. She's super small.
I know.
We're about the same size, but I've got almost a foot on her.
You want to go stand up for them?
No, I don't.
No, then they'll know we're fat. No, I'm on camera occasionally, like full body. I was during the boot camp. During the boot camp, alphas who attended that got to see me in a halter top. There was like this much of my belly showing. You got to see like that much Starla skin.
Onto the shame shed.
It was onto the shame shed.
The shame
the
shed.
lady with the bell from Game of Thrones.
Put your ankles away.
No, the shame. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Shame.
Do you guys remember this stream? I watched an old stream the other day where some guys in chat thought you were selling heroin on YouTube.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah, I remember that.
I do remember. That was like what? That was like
Funny.
That
They stuck around for a few weeks too.
Yeah.
They kept coming back. How long can you do that for in terms of A/B testing?
There's no limit on how long you can do it for. It's not against Etsy's rules. It's just what you don't want is for a customer to go to your store, see, an item that looks identical and try to figure out, what's the difference? Which one should I buy? I can't tell the difference between these. Why are there two of them? And then, do that paralysis by overanalysis and not buy anything at all because they're afraid that they're going to make the wrong decision. I've done that where I'm like looking at two things and I'm like, these look the same.
I do that every time I order DoorDash and I'm trying to decide what I want to eat.
That's different though.
It's kind of the same thing.
You guys should threaten to unsubscribe every time we mention ordering DoorDash. We gotta stop. We gotta stop. We gotta stop.
Bro,
guys.
being lazy is so freaking awesome.
We gotta stop.
How do you A/B test the same product? Are you allowed to list the same product with different images and titles?
Yeah, totally. I wouldn't
Don't do it in two separate shops.
Yeah, you gotta do it in the same shop. Don't, fill your shop with the same item, but you can totally just make a copy in the back end on your listings page when you're in your shop manager. You have the option to make a copy of that listing. Then you can test out a thumbnail. Just make sure that you are running singular experiments. Don't test a new listing with a new thumbnail and a new title, because then you don't know which of those two factors actually influenced the success of the listing. Make sure that you're doing controlled little groups for your testing.
You sounded super southern when you said boot.
Boot. Which one?
You said boot.
Did I say boot?
Yeah.
I don't even boot camp. Boot camp. We're from Ohio.
It's okay. My family's from Alabama. I'm allowed to say that.
You're allowed to say that.
I don't know. I guess I split tested a listing when opening my shop, but both listings are successful. So should I get one or keep both?
Just keep them. If they're both doing well, don't jinx it. Just keep both.
Do you happen to know where I can find the regulations and stuff I need to be able to sell magical essential oil blends? You cannot sell anything with a promise of any kind of like magic or religious metaphysical.
Metaphysical, no metaphysical. But in terms of regulations, is that going to be FDA, or does FDA not regulate?
I don't know that off the top of my head.
I would post in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community and find somebody who's already doing it, because I'm sure we've got at least one, and see what they say.
Also, make sure that like you live in a state that doesn't have regulations against that. Is it New York that it's illegal to sell products?
Metaphysicals?
Promising metaphysicals. I think in the entire state of New York, it's illegal. I could be wrong. Again, not my cup of tea.
You gonna be a wine mom, Starla Moore? I already am. I've been having like a little tiny glass of wine when I read my smut, my nightly smut. I'm not even reading smut right now. I'm reading Throne of Glass. It's YA.
Not right now. FDA does not regulate oils. No, they don't. Not oils or supplements.
Oh, okay.
But we are at the 1:30 mark. Somebody was asking about HAA. If you want to go ahead and do another spiel about that.
What is it? What are they asking about it?
I don't know, and I have to find it.
Oh, well, what do they want to know? Am I just supposed to give a sales pitch?
They said, could you say a little about your course, I believe.
Oh, okay. Handmade Alpha Academy is a 9-module program that will teach you A to Z how to build, market, and grow a dominant brand on Etsy step by step. I've said that a lot. But no, really, Handmade Alpha Academy is as everybody has described it, the equivalent of sitting down and taking an online college course. We start at your mindset, which is our introductory module. It's very, very...
Not as boring as a college course, though.
Oh, no, it's super fun. I used to be a preschool teacher. Everything is colorful and fun. But we start at your mindset. That is the core foundation of running a business, is understanding the psychology of fear and the actual chemical breakdown of why fear exists. Because once you can move past that barrier, it really is, as easy as identifying, wow, my brain is being filled with this particular chemical right now. I don't need to dwell on this because it's completely chemical. It's not anything personal. That's how I live my day to day, especially when it comes to like anxiety and stress and things. I'm like, okay, I've just, I have used up all my dopamine for the day. I need to take a nap. Then we get into the psychology of branding your business, making sure that things like the colors, the logo, the fonts of your brand, everything aligns with the ideal target customer that you want to find. And we have an entire part on target customer identification, making sure that you know who they are to the point where you could describe them like they're your best friend. And then everything that you do in your shop, your marketing, how you photograph your products, all of that will then line up with that ideal customer that you've built, which will help you to define your niche, which means creating products that ideal customer would want to buy, and filling gaps in their life, making sure that you're filling gaps in the industry, things that, that will solve problems that this actual person has in their day-to-day. Then we teach you how to build an email list. That way, if for any reason anything ever happens to your Etsy shop, or, you want to expand out, or you find it hard to reach, past customers, you have the ability to email them. Etsy shop gets shut down, or you decide to open a website, you can send them an email and say, hey, we're now located here. And you don't lose everything, if you're running a sale. With our Black Friday sales, when we sent out that Black Friday coupon, it was like immediately we would make like $15,000 in our Etsy shop, because our email list was so big. Now, it does take time to grow that email list, but it's such an important asset that when you sell a business, now you can't sell Etsy shops, but when you sell a business, they want to buy your email list with the business because they know that the customers are already secured. And that's ultimately what an email list is. And we teach you all of the legalities of making sure that you're GDPR compliant and all that good stuff. We teach you SEO in depth. You get like 7 videos on SEO broken into little chunks. It is the most in depth that I go into SEO anywhere.
It's a lot of content.
Yeah. You learn how to control the emotions of shoppers within 7 seconds of them landing on your storefront. 7 seconds is the window that help us to form our first impressions of people and of, rooms, wherever we may be. So I help you to create those psychological triggers that directly create the emotions that you want that customer to feel when they arrive in your storefront. Because customers who have an emotional focus are more likely to make a purchase. They have an emotional tie to your brand and what you've done. And then I mean, I teach you some photography. You get Christina Nicole's product photography essentials workshop. I teach you photo editing. I teach you how to select your social media platforms. I teach you how to launch product lines. So not just, throwing things out willy-nilly like, oh, I'll list this today, I'll list that. I teach you how to create product lines so that you are doing cohesive collections that all launch at the same time that you can market. I teach you my marketing timeline. So a full marketing timeline that you can follow so that you know exactly what you should be marketing at what time, depending on where you are in your journey. So you always know what you should be posting on social media, what you should be selling at the time. And then the last module is all about, we've got stuff about giveaways, building a Facebook group. There's something else in there. I can't remember, but it's so much, guys. It's so much valuable content. You guys get, you get it for life. You're in there forever. Anytime that there's updates to the program, or we, occasionally we re-record the whole thing with better quality, you get that forever. Every single year when we have our Alpha Holiday Boot Camps, you get annual access to that for free. You get 12 months of eRank Pro, which you can claim that anytime. Like, you don't have to claim it right when you register. If you want to wait until you get to module 7.
We'll probably set a date on that, though. That way people aren't messaging like 15 years down the line, like, hey, I bought HA in like 2015.
But if it takes you a while to get to module 7,
within a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah. And yeah, you get a ton of other bonuses. You get like all the past webinars and things that I've done. You get access to those. We're going to do re-record the couples boot camp, I assume, pretty soon.
Yep.
You get tons of stuff, and you get to email me anytime you need help, and you get to join the Handmade Alpha Academy student campus, which is where all of our successful students hang out, people that you see in the chat.
And we've got other projects in the work too that you'll probably get access to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're building something really great. Oh, thank you. And guys, our charity is St. Jude's. Make sure that you check out our charity. It's linked somewhere around here. And all that money goes directly to St. Jude. We try to do that one for the holiday season.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Guys,
have a happy, safe Halloween.
Yeah. Be safe.
Don't drink and drive. There's
no
reason to do that.
Make sure your kiddos are safe. Check their candy. Put some reflective gear on them when they're outside. And have fun. Like, enjoy this weekend. I'm kind of like chilling. I'm going to have a video coming out on Tuesday that I have to edit on Monday. But other than that, I'm going to be chill. I'm going to be chill this week.
Yep. I'm going to be chill too.
I'm going to be chill. All right, guys.
We love you guys. Video next Tuesday. eRank next Thursday. Live stream. And next Friday.
Yep, that's it. How much does HAA cost?
It is one payment of $997 or 6 payments of $199 if you pay it off before, I forget the month. I'm going the wrong way.
You are.
1, 2, 3, 4. If you pay it off before March 1st, I will cut the final payment off.
Yeah, he cuts off your final month's payment. But yeah, $199 a month for 6 months, or
$997 one time.
But guys, thanks for hanging out. If you're interested in HAA, there's a link down below to the waiting list.
Or you can go to joinhaa.com.
Yep. And I'll send you a notification when it opens. But thanks for hanging out. We're going to go get ready for our Halloween party. Be safe, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.